I've never had a primer do that. That actually made a really big difference. Help with mattification. I wish that happens if you ate them. Just stay with me for a second, please. Hey girl, welcome to Emmarie Lane, where my goal is to find you the best beauty products for the best prices. And today we're doing another dupe battle between the Milk Mattifying Primer and a possible dupe, the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Plus Poreless Mattifying Primer. Do you need to spend all the money on the milk, or can you save some money and just do the Maybelline? Let's find out. I'm going to do the milk on my right and the Maybelline on my left. I'm not going to use any setting spray or setting powder to see how well these things last on their own. And I'm going to be using the NYX Total Control Pro Drops for two reasons. One, I have self-tanner on, and this is one of the few things that matches me right now. And two, I know this doesn't last great on its own, especially if I get oily at all. So we'll see if these primers can help it. Starting off with the milk so we can get a baseline. Open, please. So little. You better be incredible, dude. Oh, I should show you what my pores look like before. Can you tell? I have intense pores right around like the edge of my nose because of all the acne that I've gotten and picked out. It's not good. And then I just have more texture on my cheeks. That's probably where the worst is. It's my cheeks and like the edges of my nose, but all over my nose really. According to Sephora, it says, it's a lightweight water cream makeup primer with skincare benefits that blurs look of pores and fights shine for a long-lasting soft matte finish. It's for normal, oily, and combination skin. Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to use this if you have dry skin. Obviously, the finish matte. Has niacinamide to help with the appearance of pores. It has this ingredient. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, I'm not going to try. To visibly smooth skin texture and even tone. It has, is this lentil? Yeah, it has lentil extract to help reduce shine. What? Who knew? Did you lentils help with mattification? I wish that happens if you ate them. You'd be less shiny. I would eat more lentils if that was the case. It also is infused with a natural orange blossom and chamomile. No, just kidding. And chamomile for a subtle soothing scent. We'll see. 96% said that their makeup stayed locked in place. They all say 96%, so I'm not going to just say that over and over again. Said their primer immediately mattifies skin and creates a smooth base. And then they also said it makes their skin appear smoother. That's fine. It goes for a whopping $36 for the full size. I got the mini size, which was not necessarily cheap. It was still 18 bucks, but it's not $36. So 4.7 stars with 500 reviews. That is very impressive. It's still considered new according to Milk's website, but not Sephora's, so it's like newish. That 100% helped like disguise my pores. Like the texture looks a lot better on my cheeks. It's not like perfection. They don't disappear completely, but I've never had a primer do that. So right here though, right on my nose right here, there tends to be a little bit more bigger pores. It's like they don't exist. That's not the case everywhere, but specifically right here, they're like the perfect size where this stuff can make them disappear. It's kind of insane. I like how it makes my skin feel. It feels good. It just feels really smooth. I should wipe my hands off. Get all that primer. If there's any left. I don't think there is, but we're wiping the hands just in case. This one's a little bit more watery. It's still very lotiony like. Moving on to Maybelline. Up to 16 hours of mattifying primer with clay and SPF 20. That is a little bonus. There's a little bit of extra SPF in it. Not enough that I'd be like, oh my goodness, that's incredible. But it does help. Our mattifying face primer is your must-have makeup primer. Primer for normal to oily skin. Instantly controls shine and provides a matte finish for up to 16 hours. Lightweight and breathable. Blur skin. Makes it look even. Makes it look smooth. And perfect according to them. Effortlessly glides onto the skin. Gives you flawless looking skin. That's basically what they're saying. This little guy goes for $5.68 on Amazon. It's definitely a big price difference. It has a 4.2 out of 5 stars with 2,358 reviews. Okay, I just remembered that it helps if you take your primer, like pore filling primers, and like press it in versus rub it in. Instead, grabbed a little bit more and did that on the side of my nose. I'm not gonna cheat with this side. I'm just gonna take a tiny bit more so we're equal and just press it in. See if that makes a difference at all. Just a little bit. Okay, that actually did make a difference. That actually made a really big difference. Not so much on my cheeks, but on the sides of my nose. Holy freaking cow. I mean, you can still see the blackheads on the side of my nose because that is a continuous struggle that I have. But like the pores, they're almost gone. That's crazy. This side, doing that technique helped as well. But here's the dealio. I have like this giant pore that it's from Zet from when I was like 14. That is definitely minimized, but like no primer has ever gotten rid of that completely. What I'm trying to say is because of acne, the pores are bigger on this side of my nose, so they're gonna be a little bit harder to disguise, but they definitely did disguise them. Now using that technique, Milk side does look more disguised. I'm really hoping you can like tell. It's like really weird to see my blackheads without like giant pores around them. I've never experienced that before. Let's put on foundation. I made sure that this is not an oil-based foundation because the Milk one is a water-based primer, and obviously water and oil don't mix. So here's my foundation. Before this gets on my dress, there's this. My skin looks so good. Can you see? Somehow it doesn't look flat. Maybe it's the foundation foundation, I am getting just a little bit of like dryness on either side of my nose, which is not a good sign. I have combination to oily skin, so I definitely get oily, but I can get a little dry anywhere on my face. Love that. So that's a little nerve-wracking. I'm just going to use cream products that I know need help in some way or another, or at least do not handle my oiliness super great on their own. But speaking of this foundation, I use this website that I have worked with before through TikTok, but they're not paying me to say this now. I just really like them and I keep forgetting to mention them, called Foundera. I'll link it in the description. It is a completely free website that will help you match your foundation shade, and it's super accurate. They helped me match this one. They've helped me match another one that was crazy accurate. Again, I'm not being paid to say this. I have worked with them before, but I just really like them and thought you should know about them too. Okay, I'm gonna do my eye makeup and stuff off camera real fast, and then we'll talk about things some more. It's currently 12:11. From a distance, I absolutely love the look of both, and they look the exact same. Close up, both sides look like a little matte. I haven't worn like a matte foundation, or primer in a long time. If it's mattifying, it's like slightly mattifying. It's a little jarring. I don't think it's like too matte, but like I'm just not used to. Both sides honestly don't look that different when you put the foundation on. When it comes to blurring, this side looks a little bit more blurred still, but both sides look evenly matte. Does that make sense? The smell of the milk one is not my personal favorite. I'd rather just not have a scent in my primer, but the rest of the makeup's sitting really nicely. The thing I'm most curious about at this point is oil control. Like, how long will my makeup last because my face is not oily? I'll be doing a at least 12-hour wear test. We'll see what happens, but I'm slightly nervous. We'll see. Whoops, I forgot to reapply my lip gloss, but whatever. Okay, this is what we're looking like. I have zero oil. I didn't use highlighter, by the way. I forgot to mention that. The NYX drops like a slightly dewy look, but not enough to where it should really be affected at all. So I'm like paranoid because I hear someone and I'm like, I don't want to be the weirdo just filming in front of my door. Nothing's really changed, like whatsoever. Nothing's like, there's my bronzer line. It's totally fine. My blush is still there. It's totally fine. I mean, concealer's struggling a tiny bit, but I didn't put primer there, so that doesn't count. I would say the only thing that if I was just wearing this to wear it, not necessarily to test to see how well it works, I'd probably use a slightly like hydrating setting spray. Not necessarily a dewy one, but hydrating one, because my skin feels like a little bit, you know, like sucked the life out of it, just like tiny bit. It feels a little dry, but the dry patches on either side haven't gotten worse, so that's good. Maybe I just need to exfoliate better. I haven't exfoliated in a few days, so that might be the issue. But yeah, that'd be the only thing I would really change. So, and if it was a setting spray, you know, it would have longevity, kind of balance things out a little bit more for my skin type. If you have crazy oily skin, I don't know if that's necessary, but say I have combo skin that just likes to do whatever the heck it wants, I might do it the next time. But so far so good on both sides. Okay, it is 1:25 and we've got some updates for sure. In between my eyebrows is just oily. Not as oily as it could be. It's interesting, the milk side is oily right here, but then on my nose it's not as bad. And then on the Maybelline side right here, it's not as oily, but then on the side of my nose it's more oily. So it's like reversed. My acne that's more dry threw a fit. Right here and right here, this is not dry, so really it's fine. But everything kind of started going downhill about 10.5 hours in, maybe 11 hours in. Things started to go downhill, which is impressive, and I would say all things considered it still doesn't look that bad, especially with this foundation. This foundation can be the biggest mess sometimes, but before I declare whether this is a dupe or not, I need to test something. I need to wipe off my nose with some makeup remover and see how well it handles this huge pores, like all these ginormous pores on this side that the Maybelline one had to deal with that it didn't have to deal with. Just stay with me for a second, please. Just trust me. If it handles them super well, we know that the Maybelline one isn't as much of a dupe as we're hoping it was, but if it doesn't handle them well, we know that maybe it's a little bit more of a dupe. I'm going to like pat in the milk on my left and the Maybelline on my right. Is this the most efficient way to test this? Probably not, but we're just working with what time it is. It handled this side pretty well. It did. Hold on. Big gaping hole is still pretty big gaping. It handled things a little bit better. Now the Maybelline one did good on this side. This side's not as hard to fill in pores. So it's like if you have ginormous pores like I do on the side of my nose, then the Maybelline's not necessarily going to cut it for you when it comes to pore filling. Now if you just have like medium to small, I think the Maybelline one will be just fine and you don't need to spend the money. That's what it comes down to. It's mostly dupe. If you want to see a video comparing the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip with a dupe, because I've done a couple, I don't know which one I'll show you, but this one, you can click right here. I'll link everything I talked about in the description box below. Those links are affiliate links, so I do get you a small percent of the profits if you use my link to buy the product, but it does not affect you in any way. I love you so much, and don't ever forget that you are enough. Bye!